I had a worm in my left eye. They're wanting to eat you.
I saw worms. Over 100. I lost count how many left my nose.
Western medicine had abandoned me.
Past a foot-long rope worm. How dare you?
Root causes. What's making you sick? Until you fully realize you're going to continue to have problems with your health.
Well, how did you come out of that?
I didn't want to die.
Ooh, we're talking about what's eating you. Talking about what's eating you.
Hi, Kim.
Hi, Sam.
Our first podcast episode ever.
Yes.
I find it really special and symbolic that it's here at the log home, or the mushroom church as we like to call it.
The mushroom church.
Where a lot of your journey has unfolded and even started, kicked off a lot of important milestones in your life here, right?
Yep, it has. It's been the beginning. It all started here. We're here before the worms. We didn't even know I was really that sick, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, we knew I was sick, but not really as declining as I was going to end up. So,
Yeah.
So what are we doing here?
Well, this is what's eating you.
What's eating you?
It's our longtime vision and passion project coming to life. And this is just a mission that we're both very much in alignment with. And we're coming together really to deliver important, tangible information, shine light on the dark, and provide people with the info they need to reclaim their power and help them on their self-healing journeys. You know, we're here to speak truth and liberate and share what we know and what has worked for us to help really awaken people's power.
Because it's about being able to understand your body and be your own advocate so that you're confident in what you're saying and what you're doing and who you're trusting, because these are the only bodies you get in life. So we want to make sure that we take care of them and that we listen to ourselves.
That's right. It's the self-trust. We were talking about that yesterday, and having trust in yourself, knowing that you do have the power to heal yourself, essentially. And we both have experienced that firsthand in our lives and in our journeys, which I would love to dive more into.
For sure.
I'd love for you to start.
Yeah.
Really, what happened, what got you on this journey of self-healing, but also leading you to this point of helping others heal and making it a mission and purpose in life to help other people heal themselves and their bodies?
Well, I've had 13 surgeries and a hysterectomy, and they just continually kept cutting on me, putting me on medications, never really understanding what was wrong with me with endometriosis and all the labels. And then I just realized that like it was everything I was doing was wrong. So we ended up really kind of figuring out what we could do in life in order for me to reclaim my health back.
So when you say like you realized you were doing it wrong, is it because 13 surgeries you weren't getting better?
Yeah, nothing was getting better.
So it's like that path you were on was not the solution to get to the root, to actually heal what was wrong. It was a lot of like surface level Band-Aids or treatments, but it wasn't actually getting to the root of what was happening.
Correct.
So what led you to the point of, well, did it get worse?
It did.
So what happened?
I couldn't have any more surgeries. I wasn't going to the bathroom. I mean, it just got to a point where the doctors just kind of threw their hands up and said, there isn't much left for us to do for you. This is the way you're going to live. And that's kind of the way that Western medicine treats people. And so that's what's so important about being your own patient advocate, is that you're able to understand your body. And I worked in Western medicine since 2004, and I still didn't fully grasp the concept of root causes. I didn't teach people when I was a professor root causes. Like, what's making you sick? You can throw surgeries on it. You can add medications into your life. You can even do all the supplements. But until you fully realize what your root cause is, you're going to continue to have problems with your health.
So 2004.
Yeah.
So at this point, how you were over a decade into Western medicine, working in the field.
Yes.
And while you were working in it, you were simultaneously getting treated in it with these surgeries that weren't solving or getting to the root of what was happening. So what happened after that? Did your health even more escalate in the wrong direction?
So we moved out here in 2019, at the end of 2019, and I had a pretty big awakening of Western medicine isn't always right. And how do you use herbs as part of your assistance with the ailment? And then I had to learn all the herbs, right? Because it just wasn't something that was in my vocabulary. So I grounded myself here, which I'm so thankful you're here, Sam. I just love it.
Oh, I love it here.
I just love it.
Like, this is such a magical, awesome land. I really have been enjoying my time here a lot. It's very healing.
It is. It's very healing.
Yeah.
And it's healing with some therapeutic nature that you can go out and actually observe the herbs and they talk with you and they love you and you can feel them.
I mean, we were experiencing that last night.
Yeah.
We were sitting out on the land at night and I was so drawn to, remind me again.
Usnea.
She kept calling me and drawing my attention. I was
She's
like,
so
what is
pretty.
this beautiful herb hanging in this tree in front of me? And of course, you know everything about it. You're such a plant woman, so you could break it all down for me. But I want to get a little bit deeper into, you came out here, okay, you said you had an awakening.
Right.
What actually triggered the awakening?
I just felt it. I just knew were wrapping up our life in Tacoma and I could feel this sense of urgency to get out to our property to heal me. I just felt like if I don't do it right now, I'm going to regret this the rest of my life. So there was an urgency to get out here. And then once we did get out here, we realized that the environmental toxins played a really big part in what was going on with my health. But, we didn't know it right away. So we lived out here. We worked out here. I was slowly getting worse while I was trying to build the home because we built our own log home. So I was getting worse, declining. Well, now we know it was the mold trailer and the parasites in the water, which when you're this chronically ill, you just take it all on and you end up getting worse because your body doesn't know how to process it out.
So you already had Lyme?
Well, I didn't have Lyme diagnosis yet.
Didn't know
I
yet.
just got diagnosed in December with chronic Lyme.
But it was in your body.
Yeah.
You just weren't aware yet.
Right.
You already had Lyme going on,
Endoatomyosis, which is a scar tissue disease. I had mold, which we found out later, parasites. Which I found out later, and just overall like swelling constantly. My skin was in a terrible state, which was a huge indication of something going on in your gut, an imbalance in your body, and not going to the bathroom. I mean, that really is a struggle for a lot of chronically ill people. One, you're not moving your body, right? You're teaching me how moving your body is so important, and just even a little movement, which when you're so chronically ill, you can't really move, right? You're so tired.
Yeah.
And we just kind of came to the conclusion that this was what was our life was going to be like. And
you accepted it.
We did.
That feels like a really hopeless place to be in.
Yeah.
So how did you come out of that? How did you come back from that?
Well, I didn't want to die. I didn't want to die. And that's such a moving statement. But when you're so sick and I've been sick for my whole life. I was chronically ill as a child, but this took it to a whole nother level. And I could feel myself circling the drain. And I could see those scenarios with my husband, and that was a really big thing is I didn't want to leave him. I was out here building my dream home and I wanted to see it finished. So this house really did have a huge part to play in all of this.
It was kind of like a future something to look forward to. So it kept you moving forward, knowing that this was a goal and really a manifestation that you were envisioning the whole time. So you used that to pull yourself into the future, to keep going.
Yes.
That's beautiful.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's a challenge. I mean, just doing this healthy is a challenge. But when you're chronically ill and you're trying to be a part of it, because
almost impossible.
It was impossible. Yeah. I had to kind of give up on that dream and just hope that my husband would finish the log home, which he did. But
yay, he did. And it's wonderful. We've been enjoying it a lot. So you were sharing with me this moment you had where you promised if you survived and stayed alive, what you were going to dedicate your life to do. So what was that?
I've dedicated my life to helping others to understand their body. I want people to heal. There's really no reason for us to be sick. There's no reason for us to sit in this pain and not understand. I feel like society has neglected the A and P side of the world. Like, you should understand your body. You should understand how it works.
Normalized.
It has.
People think it's normal to be infertile. It's normal to be chronically ill. Do you think it's normal?
No, not at all. Do you think it's normal?
No. I think that the human body has been interrupted in some way, and your natural systems that know what to do. We're such powerful beings. Our bodies are self-healing. They're superhuman.
It's what they want to do.
They're self-healing.
Yeah.
They only cannot do that when they're interrupted.
Yeah.
By no means is it normal, but it's been normalized.
Yeah. And our bucket is overflowing because of environmental toxins and heavy metals and mold that we don't even all know we've been exposed to. So much mold and water. Our water is contaminated in our country. And that's a really big thing because it's so important. You need water to survive. You need it to shower, brush your teeth. And when there's contaminations like heavy metals and parasites in your water, you're not getting that fundamental health start where you need that.
So hold on, you're saying the water in America isn't perfect and clean and parasites aren't just in third world countries?
No.
That's what you're saying?
We had parasites in our water. That's what this whole thing started, because we thought we were out on our land that had the best water ever, which is what everyone told us. This is the best water and well water. This isn't the best water. You still have to filter your water no matter what you're doing, where you're at. But we were out here thinking, oh yeah, we're not drinking the water. We had filters, reverse osmosis. We had multiple different layers on the drinking water, but we were brushing our teeth. We were rinsing our produce with the contaminated water.
You told me you would also put your contacts in after putting the water in. So you were putting them into your eye.
Yep. And I had a worm in my left eye. It swam multiple years. I went to the eye doctor and he said, oh, that's just normal. The floaters are normal. Well, after cleansing, I now know that floaters are not normal and I don't have them. And I know when it's time to cleanse because I'll get some floaters.
You actually just confirmed for me my theory because I wasn't sure about that. But after I did your ParaFy cleanse the first time, I didn't have any floaters and I noticed that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Speaking of, I just saw one right now.
Oh my gosh.
So I feel like it's maybe time to cleanse again.
It's
time to cleanse. That's a signal. Now at least I know that. But please, let's get into the worms a little bit.
Oh yeah.
I mean, you are deemed the worm queen. Like, this is what you are. Yep. How did you become the worm queen?
Well, I went viral on TikTok and I didn't want to be known as the worm lady. I mean,
it's just not sexy.
No, I needed to be crowned something. So
okay, I like it. I mean, you are that. You are a goddess. So
thanks.
Yeah, you deserve to wear the crown. Yeah,
I definitely am wearing a crown.
It's a lot cuter than worm lady.
Just lady. Like,
so
people do call me that, and I do correct it. I'm like, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
it's the queen.
Gotcha. So you went viral talking about worms.
Yes, I talked about my cleanse that I had done.
Okay.
Which wasn't with ParaFy, which ParaFy now is my product that I've created because of my experience that I've shown on my social media platforms. I didn't want to talk about someone else's product anymore. I wanted to talk about my own. I wanted to be able to know without a shadow of a doubt how my tinctures are made. I wanted to make sure that they were always herbs, not natural ingredients, not some coloring in there, just really what we're intended to take with herbs.
Yeah, truly nature.
Yes.
They're made from nature.
Yes.
They are all natural for real.
They
organic,
are.
herbal, that's what it is.
Some of it's foraged. So, I mean, you can't really get more organic than that. Then you're literally going out into the woods and you're taking the beautiful herbs, usnea and lungwort and red artist, the ingredients in there, and you're soaking them like our ancestors used to do. This is how they used to process medicine.
To extract.
Yes, before the synthetic drive started 100 years ago.
Beautiful.
So
you did a parasite cleanse. You got on your camera to film talking about it.
Yeah.
You posted the video to TikTok. It went viral. How viral are we talking?
Within 2 hours, I had 1 million views.
Okay.
It shut my TikTok down. It shut my phone down. It just completely changed our lives in those moments.
Wow.
Completely. In fact, it was a little scary.
Yeah.
Because we just started building. And I knew in those moments that I was going to be for sure taken away from the build. Because what kind of opportunity is this if you can't let it go?
You have to capitalize on the moment.
Yeah.
But
And it wasn't even like capitalizing for financial gain. It was capitalizing because I have something that I want to share with everyone. I have this knowledge. And when you're chronically ill, you are kind of in a hermit-like stage. And I had been for years. My dream job was being a professor. I love teaching people the knowledge. And here it is just stuck in my head. And I'm going viral over something that I 100% can teach people. It's a niche that I can help. You know?
And just through your phone.
Yeah.
That was the beautiful thing about you being secluded out here, working on the home, chronically ill, not being able to go anywhere, but from your phone was able to get this message out. Obviously was right on time and aligned with where people were because they were reacting and responding to this video so much. And then you took that as an opportunity to basically fulfill the promise you made to yourself that if you lived, you would bring this information to people to help them heal themselves and know their body, be able to heal their own bodies, right? So that's when you created your own product and created RogersHood.
Right.
And the ParaFy kit.
Started the process about 2 months after I went viral. Because it's not difficult, but it is something that you have to understand the human body and all the different types of ailments that go along with parasite cleansing and also just go along with the human body.
Yeah.
And luckily, I come from this world. Western medicine is something that I hold near and dear to my heart. I don't agree with everything, but I do believe we need it. And I do believe that you can do prophylactic type of treatment so that you don't continue to get sick. And herbs can do that for you.
Yeah.
And I did not ever think that that would be the case in life because I was so in Western medicine.
Yeah.
You know, I believed in it. I believed in it professionally and I believed in it personally.
I love your formulas and recipes too. Me being a plant person as well, we're definitely plant people. We have that in common.
Together.
And I love your recipes. I love the herbs you chose. And I feel like it's such a unique and special blend and recipe. I also love that Jeremy, your husband, made the decision. If they want to see worms,
Totally.
let's let them see worms. So he basically decided that the amount of herbs you were going to use was going to be a high enough dose that people were going to physically see worms leave their body, which I did.
Okay, I want to hear all about it.
We'll get into it because, to be honest, I mean, I'm so grateful. It's why I wanted to dig into this part of your story of what led you to even creating your own, because your cleanse actually changed my life. It actually changed my health, my well-being, my vitality, my clarity, my physical health, my emotional, mental. Like, it positively impacted me so greatly. And that's how I found you. And then we became friends and united on this mission to do this together, which is so beautiful. But like, I just have to give it up to you and nod to you for creating something that is so potent and effective, but also gentle and natural. And that's so in alignment with me and who I am. Like, that's the only thing I've been putting in my body for 13 years. And so when I found it, I was like, oh, hell yeah, I'm going to do this. I've never parasite cleansed in my life. And I was 35 and I was like, let's see what this is all about. And I saw worms and we'll get into it. But I'd love to share a little of my backstory of, of how I also.
I'd like to know exactly like What made you start becoming such a health guru in your life and everyone around you too, Sam? You're such a light and influence when you are talking about the human body and how everyone needs to really just be healthy and what they put in their mouth and be conscientious. So what
Thanks.
made you decide to do that?
Yeah, well, me being that way is so natural for me because I'm so excited about it. Like it actually lights me up. I'm so fascinated with it, with the human body and with nature and the symbiotic relationship between the two, like the synergy between the two, because we are nature. We're not separate from it. So these things, of course, work in harmony with our bodies and assist our bodies in doing what they do naturally by themselves. So basically, for me, life is so beautiful because it's very full circle. I grew up in the mountains in Arizona on my grandma's land. She had 42 acres. She had an orchard and a garden. And my mom at the time was also very like hippie woman who, you know, had us bathe in like mineral supplement Myavita or some like it's crazy stuff that like no one's heard of. And she was so on that like as a child. We were taking supplements, and when we would get sick or something would go wrong, she would take us to the natural path that would do acupuncture on us and stuff.
That's cool.
Yeah, so I grew up with that as my like core and the first experience I had, and eating off of my grandma's land. Like she would send us out to her garden to gather fruits and vegetables and herbs and come inside, and she would cook for us and stuff. So I was very in tune with nature, always playing outside, always on the land, always in the sunshine. Like that's how I grew up. And then I moved to Phoenix when I was about 10 years old, and I was then exposed to the all-American diet and the all-American way of living. Because when I moved to the city to live with my father, anytime I got sick, it was straight to antibiotics. Like I'm talking a little cold, you'd go to urgent care and they would give you a Z-Pack.
Yeah.
And it was just like antibiotics, which at the time had no knowledge or information. That was wiping my gut, wiping my microbiome, and completely just fucking my gut up like crazy. And so I had that going on while simultaneously then started taking birth control as a teenager and did that, all the different kinds.
Yep.
The Depo shot, which we were just talking about before we started filming, about like that made me gain weight and swell up and like not have a period, which is not
healthy.
Natural for a woman. It's not normal.
Healthy.
And so I went through all of those kinds of things while simultaneously eating the all-American diet, fast food, soda, pizza, you name it, junk food, all the artificial everything, like had no knowledge of using food as fuel, but just as eating, you know, and feeling full or for satisfaction and pleasure, you know? So after a decade of this, I got to a point where I was really sick and tired at a young age. And I knew it when I was 18 and I didn't have energy to do anything. I'd be like, this isn't right. I'm too young to feel this old. Like it didn't make sense to me why I was always tired. And, you know, I would go to the doctor and they'd say, oh, you have Epstein-Barr, you have chronic fatigue, and you have like depression and anxiety. And I'm like, but why? What's wrong with me?
What's my root?
Yeah, what's wrong with me?
Something's got to be causing this.
And I knew it instinctually, but I just didn't know yet.
Yeah.
And so then because of being diagnosed with depression and anxiety, I was then prescribed the strongest antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine there is at dangerously high doses when I was only 20, which very soon completely changed my brain chemistry and actually hijacked my brain and made me become almost a personality I wasn't. Like it almost made me become someone else and make really poor decisions and start doing things that were out of my character, that weren't in alignment with who I was. And I was just messed up for a couple of years there. And when I stopped taking those pharmaceuticals, those, you know, antidepressants, SSRIs, I then came out of this multi-year fog. It was like I was living in a rain cloud and I had constant brain fog and just couldn't get out of it. And I didn't know it. It was like I was living in quicksand and just couldn't move. And so got off of those. You know, I teamed up with my partner, my mentor, who was like, you don't need those. You just need to go outside in the sun and drink green juice, eat vegetables, and pray to God. And I was like, what are you talking about? Because I was so deep in the psychosis of pharmaceuticals, Western medicine. The
Right.
doctor knows best.
The body's addicted to the synthetics.
The doctor knows
So-
better than me.
Exactly.
I trust what they're saying.
Right.
Even though
you
I
have
feel
to,
like shit.
yeah.
And I'm not getting
You're like,
better.
it's okay. Keep making me feel like shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm
no
like,
worries. No
that-
worries.
yeah.
It can't be what you're saying.
That's right.
It has to be what I'm doing.
That's right.
Yeah.
And so I was just like, I just thought something was wrong with me. But I listened to him. I started moving my body. I started getting outside. I was no longer on the antidepressants. Sunshine changed the way I ate. I had a complete awakening with my food. We were breaking this down the other night, but essentially, long story short, I was breaking out really bad. I started to get really bad cystic acne. And
that's when you really know that something's going
Yeah.
on. Because that was what also clued me in.
You as well.
Was my skin.
That's
I
right.
have beautiful skin.
Mm.
And I was going through this part where it was like breaking out and the stuff wouldn't go away. Like it was always there and it
Yeah.
was painful.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I mean,
embarrassing
yeah,
even too.
it was embarrassing.
It makes you insecure and it has
Yes.
all these things that come, these mental things that come along with it. I feel like especially being women, it's like this thing.
Yeah.
But I'm grateful it happened because it was visible, it like lit the fire
Yes,
even
it
more.
makes you push even
Because you're like, I
harder.
have to figure this out because I'm not
Right.
going to live with this. So
Well, let's pause. Look at your skin.
thank you.
I mean, it is fire.
Thanks, man. I've
It
been
is
working on
fire.
it. I've been working on it for a long time now.
It-
yeah.
It looks so good. There's a
Thanks.
glow. It's beautiful. It's
thank you.
clear. It looks so healthy.
It means a lot coming from you because you do have like
Aw.
porcelain perfect skin. So
Thanks.
thanks Kim.
Thanks.
Um,
You're welcome, Sam.
yeah, but I literally that like this cystic acne was like the last straw because everything else for me was good. I was moving, I was feeling good physically and mentally. Like it was like everything was right, but I still had this thing happening. And so one night, my partner, he's like, "Do you think it's what you're eating?" And I was like, "No, like I eat fine." And
I eat healthy.
I was eating Taco Bell at the time.
I got Taco Bell with lettuce. Okay,
Yeah, it's like-
that's healthy.
I literally thought so because there's levels and layers to healthy.
Yes.
There's like what people think is healthy. Then there's what's trendy healthy. What's sold to you is healthy. Then there's like really actually healthy. And then there's like super. It's like
Yeah.
there's these levels.
Well, and all we're trying to do with food is give our bodies energy to continue to do what needs to be done and have those specific organs work.
It's fuel.
It's the fuel
Yes.
to make your body move. And I
Yes.
think we can talk about this in other podcasts.
Yes.
We really have been indoctrinated to not think of food that
That's
way.
right. That's right.
So-
well, food is nutrients. And when you break it down, it's proteins, it's amino acids, it's minerals. It's the raw materials that our body needs, our cells, organs, and body need to have energy to do what we do in life, in our waking hours. And so it's like, without that, you're either malnourished and you don't have the raw materials that you need to function at optimal well-being, or you can also simultaneously be overloaded with all of the bad stuff that your
Right.
body doesn't want. And so it's like an imbalance either way. And a lot of the times you're both at the same time. You're depleted and malnourished and you have too much of the poison blocking you up, slowing you down. And so I woke up from that sleep though in one night. It happened one night. I stayed up all night researching, going down the rabbit hole on Google about food, the link between food and depression, food and anxiety, food and hormone health, food and acne. And I got to the bottom of it. And the second I came across the information that they're purposely putting this stuff in the food to make people addicted to it, to make people sick because
Yep.
they're in bed with the pharmaceutical companies and it helps keep everyone's pockets full. I was like, never again, you will never, ever poison me because I won't put it in my mouth.
Right.
So the joke's on you because you can't control me, make me sick. You can't hurt me if I don't put it in my mouth. So for the rest of my life, I'll never put your poison in my mouth again. And that was 13 years ago. And I literally have never since that day because something shifted inside of me. It was a lifelong, I know what it feels like to make a lifelong lasting decision that's real with all of your willpower. That's like, I will only eat to live for the rest of my life. I will never poison myself again.
And you really don't.
Oh, I stick to it.
Like
Yeah.
you are not extreme
I'm
in a
extreme.
bad way,
I'm
but
extreme.
like you're extreme,
Yeah.
you know? And it's a good thing though. It shows
Mhm.
that discipline and it shows like how much you really love and care about your body.
Yeah.
Because that's where we all need to be.
Yeah. But when you have a paradigm shift happen inside of your brain,
Yes.
you actually are no longer even seeing it the same. So I no longer see food that other people think is like a treat or a cheat day
Yeah.
or like, I'm just going to cheat for this or I'm just going to treat myself to this. If it has corn syrup, soy, gluten, dairy, I mean, that's not for everybody.
Right.
Some people can process that, but for me, I know what they are for me. The poisons are for me. Dyes, artificial flavoring, sugar, if it has all this stuff in it, that's not a treat to me.
Right.
I'm actually poisoning myself, so I don't look at it that way, so I will never put it in. I only see it as poison and I can't unsee
Like you know
that.
what it does to you.
Yeah, I know what it does.
And so you go to take a bite and you're like,
No way.
this is not
I never-
good.
I
Like
never
what's
would
the point
again.
of, you're not even going to enjoy it.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Oh, no,
You're
no, no.
teaching me that for sure. 1 second in your mouth for days, you'll feel like trash.
Exactly. And I
Yeah.
told you this a couple months ago when we did a live together. I realized nothing tastes as good as feeling good
Yeah.
feels. Nothing
Yeah.
tastes as good as feeling good feels.
Yep.
And it's just the truth because it's not worth being bloated, gassy, headache, just slow, tired, brain fog. Like,
And you are after. You
It's-
are after
yeah.
because your body doesn't know how to process it. Or it's so overloaded with toxins that even if you were able to process it, the toxins are just causing this inflammation in your
That's right.
body. And,
that's right.
you know, I think that is such a good point of when you have that inflammation. I don't have as much inflammation as I used to have because of the fact that I am aware of what I'm eating now. I do take some things to help with inflammation, but I feel better. And so I want to stay feeling that way.
That's right.
And that's just kind of the switch that I had when I was looking at food differently.
Well, yeah, because it's like when you're in healing mode, you're in survival and you're fighting to get to a place where you feel good. But then once you're there, it's about maintaining.
Yep.
You have to sustain and maintain it.
And I think that's the hardest part.
Cleansing is a huge part of maintaining that
Yes.
feel good state.
Yes.
And that was a huge piece that was missing for me. So I was 12 years deep into my healing journey of living as holistic as possible. You know, I still live in balance and moderation. I like my makeup. I like to dye my hair, like all of that. But I eat completely clean, organic, non-GMO. As many products, house cleaners, body products as I possibly can are clean and natural. Like I've lived a very holistic lifestyle for 12 years. I've done a candida cleanse. I've like done a lot of different things.
Like you did it like a deep candida. See,
deep.
I've not gone that deep on
Yeah.
candida cleanses.
Yeah, it was like a 3-month really
Dang, man.
intense one.
Candida's tough.
It was tough.
Ugh.
You couldn't eat anything that even turns into sugar on it, not even like a sweet potato.
That's why we have the strictest candida diet. That's actually what the diet is that we
Yeah.
have for RogersHood to follow is the candida diet because it's the strictest.
Yeah.
And you're going to get because you're already cleansing candida.
Yeah.
So you might as well continue.
Exactly.
Okay, keep going.
Oh yeah, no, that's a great point. That's a great point because it is like that. It's basically
Yeah.
no sugar, no inflammation.
Yeah.
And so you keep all those things out. So yeah, I did all of those things. But I never parasite cleansed. I had it in the back of my mind. I knew it was a thing, but I was like, do I really even need to? You know, it was kind of
Yeah.
like, I don't know.
Everyone thinks they
yeah.
don't need one.
Yeah,
I mean, even the healthiest people.
healthy.
Like you're going on this 13 years strong and
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I've never parasite cleansed, which really is where you got to start.
Oh yeah.
You got to start with the parasite
Because
cleanse.
to me, what I learned through my experience, which I will get into, is your body is like a garden and you have soil
Mm-hmm.
and you can't plant seeds, organic seeds in dirty soil. You have to clean your soil out
Yes.
first. Now plant the seeds. Now water and nurture and nourish the seeds and help them grow so you can enjoy the beautiful fruits of feeling good and being vital and being strong. Like that's the order in which you must go. Now, I was able to clean my soil a lot faster and thorough because I already did the 12, 13 years of work.
Yes.
But
it
my
was-
soil was still dirty. So this is how I came across Kim Rogers and the ParaFy cleanse. My childhood friend called me and was like, Sam, you will never believe what I just went through for the past 2 months. I had a parasitic infection. My entire body was overloaded. I passed the craziest looking stuff you'll never believe. When she listed off to me what she saw leave her body, weird stuff, like all the worms, of course, sacks of eggs, sacks of worms, something that she said was like a hairball that she has no idea what it was. It was a hairy thing.
Wait. Was that your friend?
Not the picture I saw recently.
Oh, okay.
But when I saw it, I went, oh, other people have passed hairy things. So
some of the stuff.
Weird, right?
So
her
weird.
body moved out weird stuff. Now, when she tells me this, I went, wait a minute. We're the same age. We grew up down the street from each other. We're about the same size body. Pretty similar lifestyles.
Like, oh my God.
What's in me? If all that was in you, what is in me? Like, I need to cleanse and find out. I just knew right away when she told me, I said, I have to do this. I'm doing it now because I'm extreme. I'm totally cool with diving right in. I'm an Aries sun. I'm like, let's go. So I was like, okay, I want to do a cleanse with you. She said, perfect. I want to do this woman's cleanse who's gone viral online talking about worms. And it has a binder in it. She's
Which
like,
is a huge thing.
Huge. So she's like, this woman though, it's called ParaFy from RogersHood. She has a binder in it. It's all natural herbs. I want to do it. So let's do it together. I'm like, bet, like say less, let's go. Then I go, because I'm extreme, I go onto your page and I'm liking all your stuff because I'm diving in deep. I want to know everything there is to know about this before I do it so I can do it right and do it effectively and thoroughly. I'm liking all your stuff. And then me and my friends, we buy our kits and you slide into my DMs and was like, hi, Sam Bruno. Like, have you ever tried the ParaFy kit? I'd love to send you one. I was like, I just bought one 20 minutes ago. You said, nope, I'm sending you a free one. Let's go. Like, let's go. I'm here to support you.
You're Sam Bruno. I mean, yeah.
Thanks, Kim. Thanks. It was very appreciated. It honestly just felt like what came through really in that moment is I felt your passion for really actually genuinely wanting to help people.
Yeah.
It was very loud and clear what your mission was in that moment. I went and told my friends and they were like, what is she, an angel? I'm like, I think so. I'm pretty sure she is actually.
I think I sponsored your whole group cleanse.
You did.
I'm like, wait a minute. You have a group cleanse going on? You're like, yeah. I'm like, all right, I got you.
You sure did. Yeah, you took care of us. And we dove right in head first. I made sure my drainage pathways were open first. Very important.
Yeah.
First step. They were anyway because of my lifestyle, but I went extra because I just wanted to make sure. Girl, when I tell you day 3, I saw the first worm.
Day 3 is really a day for a lot of people. Day 3 was mine when I saw everything too. My first cleanse.
It tripped me out. I couldn't believe it. I was like, it actually is real.
Yeah.
It hit like, this really is real.
Yep.
It's just so.
It doesn't matter how clean you are.
Yes.
It doesn't matter anything.
No.
If you've never tried to remove something that's been in your body for decades, it's literally in there.
They can live in your body for decades.
For like your whole life. Pinworms just settle on in your appendix. And that's where they live. You can try and get rid of the pinworms, but unless you're doing multiple cleanses over time, they're just replicating.
Yes.
And they're so smart
because
they know exactly how to hide.
Very intelligent. They create complete ecosystems inside of the body.
They do.
They use you as a host to build their towns and cities and villages. And it's crazy. If that one worm was all I saw, that would have still just tripped me out.
So where did you see the most?
Well, I saw hundreds more leave my body. And I never thought I would ever say that in my life because I was so healthy. I had no idea I was overloaded with worms. But after the pandemic hit, I caught 3 times.
Dang, man.
And it really messed me up.
Yeah.
Because it would get so bad at certain points, I would have to get antibiotics. And I don't take antibiotics. I do everything I can except take them. I will take white willow bark before I will not. Like
white willow bark's one of my faves.
Amazing.
They're so good.
Exactly.
So
and it's
good.
nature's antibiotic.
It is.
But sometimes Western medicine comes in clutch.
Yep.
And can help really knock the thing out. But what it did is it came through and it would knock out everything good too. So it knocked out my gut, wiped me clean. Then I got candida. Then that led to this and that. And it's just like.
And it makes you more susceptible that if you did happen to eat something that had contamination in it, it's going to sit with you instead of slide right out. Yeah,
they're
all hang out
attracted
together.
to the viruses. All of them, they live together.
They do.
So parasites, worms, bad bacteria, candida, viruses, mold, mucus, heavy metals, they all team up together and they build nests and they live in this thing together.
And they grow and they create an ecosystem in your body.
In multiple places in your body, not just your gut.
Blood, tissue, muscle, brain, all of the aches and pains you have could be something in your joints.
Yeah.
Like they really do take a hold and they want to be in there. So that's where you have to be conscientious about what your aches and pains are.
That's right. I felt knee pain and joint pain in the year to 2 year. Basically, after I caught and took antibiotics, it was a 3-year period until I found you and your kit. And in that 3 years, I was like, something's missing and off because why am I doing all the right things, but I still am breaking out, having aches and pains, knee pain. I kept getting jaw pain and like tightness and like ear stuff and like very sinusy and very like my lymph nodes in my neck. I could feel everything was just very like, especially.
And you were doing movement, right?
Yeah.
You were still following that 3 Ps.
That's
peeing,
right.
Pooping, and perspiring.
Yeah.
You were doing it all.
Yeah, I was. And it would flare up around right before my period and around the full moon. And I never knew why.
Same. I never really put 2 and 2 together when I would have my flares. I would probably the beginning of 2020, I started to look back and say, oh, the full moon, I really don't feel well during the full moon. And I remember looking over because I was in the trailer and I wasn't really mobile. So I would look over, my calendar was right there and the full moon is tomorrow and I don't feel well. I'm going to remember that. I'm going to make a note. I'm going to remember. And then
So
the next
smart.
month, same thing. I don't feel well. I'm having a flare. My skin was flaring during the full moon. Never even put the 2 together until July of 2021.
Wow.
And then I realized that it had everything to do with the parasitic infections going on in my body.
And this is not woo-woo.
No,
it's actual science.
yeah.
So what is happening during the full moon in our bodies that is connected to parasites and worms?
Serotonin flows more freely during the full moon and they live off of your serotonin.
And melatonin reduces, which is why you're more wired and not as tired during the full moon. It's not as easy to sleep. Serotonin rises, melatonin lowers.
And they eat it. They feed off of it, making you feel bad about yourself because serotonin is the happy chemical that runs through your body. So it's really no joke when someone says things get crazy during the full moon because your chemicals are imbalancing.
Yeah.
And they're eating it while they're trying to reproduce and create more communities in your house. They actually say to go 3 days prior to the full moon because that's when they start to dislodge themselves from your body, different parts to make new communities in your body.
They're coming out of burrowing. Yeah. They're coming out of hiding.
Yes. And they can flow more freely because of the serotonin is flowing more freely in your body.
Man, they gotta go.
They've got
all
to
of
go.
them. I was on a mission. The second I started, when I saw that, I was like, okay. Day 4, I was not expecting what happened. I went to the steam room, was purposely breathing steam in through my nose as deep as I could. And I went there with the intention of sweating. So I'm all in the steam room, breathing in eucalyptus, like in there to sweat, drainage pathways, clear out my sinuses. Not knowing that was going to cause me to go home and blow my nose and see a worm come out of my nose.
Oh my gosh, Sam.
And that was the first worm of over 100. I lost count at some point. I couldn't even count how many left my nose, Kim. My nose.
And it's funny because we do voice memos together, voice notes. And I remember hearing your voice. And I just have this gift that I can kind of hear and sense and see things where people have some health issues. And I remember hearing you and like, okay, she's a little nasally, not in a negative way, but like it's just my way of understanding where worms or mold or health issues could be.
Yep. I noticed my voice. I'm a singer. I'm a music artist.
Yeah.
I noticed my voice got clearer and better
yes.
after cleansing. So I noticed it in my talking voice and my
Immediately,
singing
I
voice.
noticed it. Probably within because you voice memoed me.
Yeah.
And then it was about a week and a half later, and I made a note that, she sounds better. She
Clearer.
sounds more clear. I need to ask her exactly what she's done differently.
Well, what changed for me was everything. I was getting sick often before cleansing. It was once every couple months, and it would be bad. When I would get sick before, it would take me out for a while. So it was all these things, it was like, and the pain and like I remember getting random bursts of anxiety that was also borderline paranoia.
Yeah.
It would be like paranoia, paralyzing anxiety, but I'm so self-aware and logical. When it would happen, I would go, there's no reason this is happening. There's not a situation happening causing this feeling. So why am I experiencing this? It doesn't make sense. It's telling me something's wrong. After cleansing, I haven't experienced that one time.
That's amazing. They definitely can affect your mental health.
Yep.
I think that really for me was a huge nervous system,
emotions, mental health,
anxiety. They drive your self-worth to a negative place.
Yeah.
Because
definitely.
again, they eat your serotonin, which you need to make that happy feeling.
Yes.
And when you don't have that, or your lymphatic system is not functioning at the optimal level, you're going to feel those anxiety. And my anxiety, I know when it's time for me to cleanse because my anxiety gets so heavy.
Yeah. And not to mention like all of the supplements people are wasting money on.
Yeah, because they're taking 90% of our nutrients.
So before you cleanse, if you're spending a lot of money on supplements, a lot of those are not even going into your body, your cells, your organs. Your body isn't getting to use a lot of those nutrients because the parasites and worms are actually stealing.
They're absorbing it into their bodies because there's a biofilm that happens that is basically an enter only. Nothing can exit out.
Wow.
It's all entering in, and it's absorbing, and it's pumping into their little home and their bodies. With us, with Metal Flush, which is in the ParaFy kit, I use lungwort lichen because it breaks that biofilm down, exposing them. And that's what happened with me on my first cleanse, that I got so sick. Jeremy and I got so sick on multiple cleanses throughout the year we were doing them before we brought in the ParaFy kit, because we weren't binding and we didn't know you had to break the biofilm. There's nothing really out there telling you any of this.
Yeah.
You're kind of on your own before I came along.
Yeah. Well, what's really beautiful and just like aligned about our paths crossing, and really we became friends right away.
We did.
We bonded definitely through cleansing and me doing your cleanse, and we were able to like really keep in touch really closely about my journey through it. Another beautiful thing about when our paths crossed is I already created Sammy sea moss.
Yes. And I had never done sea moss.
You never had tried it.
So good.
I created Sammy sea moss during the pandemic. Really, it even just started out not even as a business, but to make it for me and my partner and our family and parents to keep everyone healthy during the pandemic, because sea moss has 92 minerals. It's a cold, flu, and virus fighter. It's antibacterial, antifungal.
But it's not just sea moss that you do.
Not anymore. It's so much more than sea moss.
It's a superfood.
It's a superfood.
It's a superfood sea moss.
I add a lot of organic herbs and superfoods in it to make it really potent. It's very nutrient dense. It's medicinal, really. And every single blend that I provide is for a specific purpose and full of all of its own mushrooms and herbs and superfoods. But the beautiful thing about sea moss is another thing that it does is it breaks up and moves out excess acid and mucus out of the body.
It's great with the ParaFy
So the
kit.
second you noticed, wait, and sea moss actually moves the biofilm out, because biofilm is mucus.
Yes.
That moves it out of your body. Oh my God, you can do the sea moss with the ParaFy kit.
Yep.
I thought it was a beautiful alignment, and it worked out really well.
It really is great together because you need that extra boost regardless if you're on a cleanse or not. The sea moss is amazing.
That's right.
It is.
Well, you also have another kit that's really great to take when you're not cleansing. The support kit, right?
The support kit's
love
amazing.
The support. Immune tincture.
Yep.
Sustain.
Recover and sustain. Well, Sustain is like my best friend.
He loves Sustain.
I just love her.
We take it like almost daily.
Every day. I mean, she's just such a good, there's 3 herbs. It's pretty basic, but she's not basic at all.
Oh no, she fights Candida.
She does. She helps Candida. I take it for my chronic Lyme because it has usnea, and usnea is Mother Nature's doxycycline, which is Mother Nature's antibiotic. And so when you're fighting these environmental toxins that are trying to take over your body, that's why we named this "What's Eating You," because really, they're wanting to eat you.
Yeah.
They want to survive, and they're going to do anything they can. You're a host. You're the best host.
Yeah, we're optimal for them until we start making our bodies
Inhospitable
for them. And that's what trips me out, because even after cleansing, I would hit you like, why am I still seeing worms leave my body and I'm not actively cleansing? Because at this point, it's been hundreds that have left my body. I cleansed out gallstones, liver flukes, eggs.
You ate a lot of fish before, right?
I kind of, but not, I was never like a sushi person.
No.
I think growing up in the country, and I don't know, I can't pinpoint exactly.
Well, you were out in the dirt.
Sure.
You had animals.
Sure.
Yeah.
It's hard to know.
It's hard to know
where, but I also passed a foot-long ropeworm.
Oh, man.
That was the only
ropeworms are wild.
It was the only time during the entire cleansing process.
I didn't even know that you did a ropeworm.
It was the only time during the entire cleanse that I was actually shooketh. That shooketh me.
Because they're big.
Yeah, and I just couldn't believe it when I saw it. I just couldn't believe it. I was angry. I went through a lot of emotions during the cleanse, which is part of cleansing.
I hear you.
But I was like angry. I was like, how dare you? Get out of me. Like,
feels
you can never live in me again.
So like you really do feel invaded.
Yeah.
How has this happened? How did this happen?
Yeah.
You know, like for me personally, how did I not know this? How did I not know I was an author? I wrote academics. I was a professor. I worked in the field. How did I not know this?
Well, it was not taught in Western medicine.
No.
It actually, there's something in America where it's almost, would you say hidden?
Yeah.
Would you say
Taboo.
purposely not talked about?
I mean, we're definitely digging into seeing exactly why they don't want to talk about it and why me in particular and my company are deemed such terrible people
Rebels.
Rebels. And really, I don't understand it because this is natural. Mother Nature put parasites in worms to be decomposers. So this is something that is normal. They're actually doing their job. There's something in you. But why not? Why kind of hide it? Like, what's the point of hiding all of it?
That's right. I mean, in other parts
Other
of the
countries,
world, it's known.
Yeah, like
and the
Mexico.
people do it often. They
like
take herbs to deworm
herbs,
often.
synthetics. They have access.
Yeah.
They have people they can go to and talk about this.
Yes.
Not some random lady on the internet that is really hyper focused on making sure you fully understand that this is something we all do have.
Well, you've made a lot of noise, and you've made waves, and I've seen you be a pioneer and innovator leading parasite cleansing online and social media and making it cool and trendy, and like people are like, oh, I want to do that too. You have been the face for that. You've been the front man for that, and it's like so beautiful and powerful to see. I mean, I would have never. Yeah. Who knows when I would have done it if I wouldn't have come across. So,
but it is cool. It is fun, and it should be more than just trendy. But I want to keep it trendy because you're taking care of your body. We should find this to be very cool.
Yeah.
This is all you get in this lifetime.
Yeah.
Whether, we don't really know everything that happens when you're gone, but we know this body is all you get right now. And in order to keep you healthy and happy, you have to cleanse at least 3 to 4 times a year.
Yeah.
Just because you're constantly exposed every day. I never in a million years thought that my water would contaminate me to a point where I was circling the drain even more, making myself sicker because I'm brushing my teeth with water.
Yeah.
Well,
this circles back to you saying like cleanse 3 to 4 times a year.
Mm-hmm.
That's the maintenance to keeping you in the state of feeling good and being vital and healthy. And so, we talked about both of us experienced times in our lives where we were sick and tired. You to a very extreme level physically, me to an extreme level mentally. Yours was also mental, but we fought and we turned to nature to be the catalyst and to lead the way. And we trusted nature to heal us and taking our power into our own hands to heal ourselves, using nature as medicine, food as medicine, herbs as medicine, the plants that we love so very much and have such honor for.
That speak to you.
That's
what's so
it's
cool
a relationship
about the plant.
That's right. It's a
mushrooms speak to you. Like I was doing a lot of mushrooms for sure.
Yeah.
I was meditating a lot and I was doing a lot of mushrooms in order for me to figure out what was wrong with me. Because again, the outside world of Western medicine had abandoned me.
Yeah.
And so I turned to the one thing I knew, which is herbs, Mother Nature. I was out here. I was able to spend 6-8 hours a day if I wanted to, meditating and really figuring out what was wrong with me.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You said you went to the one thing you knew, and that's what I started out my journey with, sharing my story about life is so full circle, because I started that way as a child, then veered off on a path of all American and got real sick.
Same.
And then returned home to what I knew.
Growing up, same.
That's right. And so it's like, us living in a country and a time where this kind of topic is taboo, but getting less taboo because of people like you. And I now
and you
spreading the word. But I mean, it's really symbolic, even our logo being a big mouth. I mean, we make a lot of noise and we're here to talk and we're here to shed light and we're here to make what is taboo to a lot of people not taboo anymore. We're going to dive into coffee enemas and colonics and all the healing modalities.
Making sure everyone understands how to use these healing modalities and how easy it really is, how fun it is, how easy it is, how great you feel after. Because I've been using them for the last 3 years, making sure that I continue to feel better. I use them every day still.
That's right.
And it's just really important for people to understand exactly what needs to be done to help themselves.
That's right. Yeah. Well, we're going to be providing tools and we're going to show you guys. We're going to take you along on field trips with us and on the journey of showing you how to use these things, how we use them in our daily lives. We both really do walk the walk. Everything we're going to talk about on this podcast is how we live our lives. It's very important for us to peel back the layers of taboo or ignorance or fear around a lot of these things that really, when you just embrace them and use them as tools, you take your power back and you can heal thyself. And that's what we're here to shine light on and spread the word about and talk about what's eating us.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
So this is awesome.
It's so good. I'm so excited to be able to share this with you and this community.
Me too.
Because it's something that we really need to show. It really is important for people to understand and to be able to be their own patient advocate.
Yeah, let's help them understand.
Yeah,
and overstand.
Yeah, I like overstand.
Yeah.
Because you're not under anything.
You're not getting crushed. And really to embrace it. That's the thing, is to learn it and then apply it. That application is everything. A lot of people hear information and then they stop right there. But in my life, the key that has unlocked the doors to better living, better thinking is actually applying. So that action is a mandatory step. And so we're here to help provide the information and then encourage you all and support you all to take action and continue on in your journey of self-healing. So that's what we're doing.
That's what we're doing. Yay. So excited to be here.
Me too, Kim.
So thankful for you. I'm so thankful for this community and all of these opportunities that we've all been given. Well, because of the worms.
That's right. They were good for something.
They were.
Ooh, we're talking about